Tri-Waco, the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce's annual Olympic and Sprint Distance Triathlon will begin at 6:30 a.m. on Sunday, July 9th at Indian Spring Park. Over 900 participants are expected for this event. The race starts with a point-to-point open water swim in the Brazos River, followed by a flat and fast bike ride on the spectator-friendly roads near the river, and finishes with a run along the Brazos River through Cameron Park, finishing on the famous suspension bridge. Tri-Waco will again include relay options, as well as the aqua bike races. Online registration is open through Friday, July 7th, 2023 at triwaco.org. The Tri-Waco Triathlon is presented by Bicycle World. Again, online registration is open through Friday, July 7th, 2023 at triwaco.org. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
This is the Sic Em Podcast, powered by Rogue Media Network. The Sic Em Podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics.
Now, let's go inside the bubble with your hosts, Brooke Bednarz and the voice of the Bears, John Morris.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Not Inside the Bubble Sic Em Podcast. It is the Outside the Bubble Sic Em Podcast. The bubble has been burst. The Bears are celebrating a national championship, and Brooke, no better way to wrap up our Inside/Outside the Bubble podcast than to visit again with Coach Scott Drew.
Absolutely, Coach. We joked with you when we met with you inside the bubble that we didn't want to see you until April, and I am pleased to say that it worked. You came home in April with a national championship. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy, super popular man of the hour schedule to visit with us on the Sic Em Podcast.
Well, it's a blessing to be with you guys. And I just got a text from Nunley saying I can't get any work done. I'm still smiling and too happy. so that's a great thing for all Baylor nation, the Baylor family. I mean, you guys have been there and a big part of this. So seeing you guys being happy and able to celebrate brings a lot of joy to our coaching staff as well.
Boy, that's terrific. Well, you've been on ESPN, you've been on ABC, CBS, NBC. Glad you can spend a little time here on the little podcast.
Well, this is the important one, as we know. So, but the great thing is it's God's platform, and we want to make sure we honor Him with it, and make sure Baylor has an opportunity to just show the nation what it's about.
Scott, what a tremendous platform. I mean, the spotlight that is on Baylor and Baylor basketball right now is just tremendous.
Well, and you saw the ratings of the game, 16.9 million, which was the highest viewed basketball game since 2019 NBA Finals Game 6. So a lot of people viewed the game, a lot of people witnessed it, but then obviously it opens opportunities following the game. And we have so many players with great personalities that have done so well in all their interviews and represent Baylor University and our culture of joy.
It was fun to get to hear from some of them at the airport whenever y'all landed. They were cracking a couple of jokes. You even did that. They were super excited to get back for school. Thought that was funny, but just how neat is it for you to be able to hear them? I know you've spent a lot of time with them in the bubble and this year overall, but to truly have everyone that talks about Baylor basketball use that word joy. I think it was in every single person's post that I've seen. It's talked about all the time. It's on the banner. And it's truly gone from just what it means to your team to what it means to Waco, what it means to the Baylor family, and then nationally with those numbers that you just said, everyone heard what that means.
Well, and that's a tribute to the fine young men that represent Baylor University and played so hard for them all season long. And as a coach, it's one thing to love how your guys compete and play, but there's another sense, and it's a whole nother sense, a level of satisfaction knowing that when they get put in front of the media or when people spend time with them and they walk away and just brag about what high character individuals they are and how class they are. And that was one of the things in the bubble. A lot of the hotel support staff were like, a lot of teams were great and gracious to them, but they were always like, we hope your team stays because we love working with you guys. You guys are so kind, so appreciative, so nice. And I mean, really, again, it's a player-led team. They're the ones that have really bought into that. We had our host of the bubble. His name was Derek, a fine young man, but like we're doing our celebration team picture. It was the players like, Derek, you get in the front, come sit down here. And I mean, just the fact how they incorporate everybody and make everyone feel special is really cool.
And that bubble life, I mean, that could have been a real strain, just as long as you were in the bubble. But you guys made it just the opposite. You really thrived in the bubble.
Yeah, I think Jackson Moffitt, his TikTok views went way up. So yeah, it was. but again, I've always said this: if you're gonna spend 4 weeks in a bubble, you better do it with people that you really love and enjoy. Right. And that was the great thing. I mean, our team room was like the family room, and people were always playing games, having a good time, and you just wanted to get to the family room to see who was in there, what they were doing. Usually Obin was talking noise in some Connect 4 game or whatnot, and LJ was winning in cornhole, or so it was just great how everybody was having fun and enjoying one another.
While you guys were able to strive in the bubble, you guys were away from your families since, and most people might not know this, but since Kansas City. But for the Big 12 tournament, that's actually where that bubble started. So what was it like to actually hug your family and see your kiddos? And for all the other coaches, we saw Coach Brooks is, his little boys sitting on the curb waiting for him to get home, and that went viral. So how special has it been? And then kind of give you an opportunity to give them a little shout out for being the support behind all of you guys.
Absolutely. We couldn't do what we do without tremendous family support, and our wives and kids that sacrifice so much of their time, and they allow us to be able to do what we love to do and God's called us to do. So they're a huge part of this success. And I know the kids were all excited to get us back, and the wives were too, because I'm sure, like mine, they had a couple things around the house needed done, and all my little man wanted to know is when can we play 2-on-1 in the backyard. So he was happy. He was happy Dad was home too.
I don't know if Kelly told you this, but we had, you were in the bubble. We couldn't be around you. We were there on the road on Easter Sunday, so we kind of had our own little family Easter service. Did she tell you about that?
Yeah, oh yeah, we saw the pictures she sent with Pastor Weibel, and that was so neat. And loved that Pastor Weibel was able to be there, but obviously felt bad that he like so many of you guys weren't able to be in the bubble, but to see Easter service and life outside the bubble, that was really cool.
What about?
Hey, by the way, you knew we were gone a long time when you get back and the blue bonnets are up. You're like, man, when did these happen?
Yes, they're celebrating with you. They're here.
Yeah, my wife's like, oh, it's been a couple weeks. They've been out,
It was snow on the ground when you left, and now there's blue bonnets. What a great, how many Baylor fans, how many of your former players, folks around the team made their way to Indianapolis. That was so cool to see.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then I tell you what, with the victory parade, just really excited about that, because we're going to have past players and their families walk in front, and then our staff and past staffs walk, and then we'll have the players honored on cars, fire trucks, whatever they put together. But it's really neat that they'll go first because they were the foundation. So any past Baylor basketball player, staff member, coach, you're more than welcome, and hopefully can find an opportunity to come down and be a part of the parade on Tuesday.
Well, how special would that be?
That's
I know
cool.
the post about the significance of the national championship logo has kind of been going around, and to see that 99 in there, those 99 former players. That's pretty special that they'll be able to join you guys. And then since you mentioned the parade, we'll just toss out some details real quick. That's Tuesday, April 13th at 6 p.m. It'll start on 14th in Austin and go all the way to City Hall on South 3rd Street. So that's next Tuesday at 6 p.m. to come out and celebrate the national championship with Coach Drew and everybody that's been a part of the program since you've been here. So
well, and even talking to like David Wesley, Brian Skinner, a lot of people like that don't live in the area are going to try to see if they can make it back, which is awesome.
Cool. Man, that is great. That's going to be a real celebration. How fun was it to have your dad and your mom were there? Bryce was there. Was Dana there in Indianapolis?
Yes. Yeah. Dana and her husband, Casey, were there. So it was awesome that they were able to make it back. And my mom doesn't, it's a little harder for her to travel. So on Saturday, we needed to win to get her back on Monday. So the team came through, and it was great having them in the stands and a part of it. And I tell you, with the social distancing and everyone sitting up higher, it really showed which coaches needed new contacts, because if you could see family, then you knew you were 2020, So, right. but it was great after the game and the celebration when you were able to get close enough to see everybody and see the excitement and joy everyone had.
Some guys like Devontae, I think, was there. Freddie was there. Freddie couldn't stay. With good reason. Freddie had to leave before the championship game. He got called up by the Raptors. That's great.
Yeah. So Devontae, Freddie, Tristan, they were all there. And Freddie gets called up, and he's like, "Do I gotta go?" And you're like, "Yeah, the NBA's calling you. You gotta go." So
exactly.
So we were really excited for him.
Okay, so what's there's going to be a movie, right? You're going to make sure that John Lee Hancock follows through, and there's a movie about this.
Well, we're gonna get to work on that. I know the big question is, J-Mo, you might have to play yourself because nobody's got a voice like you. So you are special, my friend. You might have to do your own.
Well, I'll sign him up if that means we get a movie. But I mean, the record of Texas men's basketball teams winning the national title and then getting a movie, so far we're about 1,000.
Yeah, 1-0. We got to keep that streak alive. 100%.
Yeah, we do.
100%.
What's John Lee Hancock say? Has he followed up on this?
Well, he's I've been texting with them, and he came up with it was a great group with Paul Foster and everybody. And I said, "Are you coming back to the victory parade?" And he said, "Scott, we've been gone for a month, basically. I got to work." so anyway, I know we'll follow up with him and after the victory parade and see how things are going.
As long as he's working on the script, we're good with that.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Well,
he's had people that don't know. I mean, he's had the movies Blindside, Rookie, The Alamo. I mean, he's he just finished the Denzel movie, which was outstanding. The Highwayman. I mean, he's been on a roll.
He knows how to make a good movie.
Yeah.
And this is a good story to tell. So we're going to continue to push him for that. But speaking of people you've visited with since the big win, we're interested in hearing who all reached out and how quickly your phone battery died because your phone was being blown up by all these text messages and phone calls.
Well, I'm one of those guys that I hate to not answer texts or emails or whatnot. So I believe it's around 2,500. But the good news is, as of 2 nights ago, I made sure I wouldn't go to bed till I was always caught up. So at the end of each night, I don't go to bed till I get back to everybody. So that's a great thing. As far as people reaching out, I mean, that's the great thing with modern day technology. You hear from a lot of people that you haven't heard from. You hear from a lot of Baylor people that you don't get a chance to see all the time. So I don't know if there's one or two particular ones. I know there's been some great tweets out there. there. I mean, anytime you get the president tweeting you, I mean, Magic Johnson. I mean, you had so many great NBA players. I know. Donovan Mitchell, he looked good in the Baylor Davion Mitchell jersey. So, I mean, so many great tweets out there. And then you love the sports casters. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, he went right out and he owned it, said I was so wrong. And it's great. But here's one thing I do know. Most kids grow up 8 to 13 years old, 14 years old, and they're watching the college March Madness time. And those teams, those guys become their heroes. I mean, there's going to be so many young people out there that want to be the next Jared Butler, Mark Vidal, Davion Mitchell, Maceo Teague. And really, it's amazing what this group's done, being the winningest team in the Power 5 the last 2 years. You set the Big 12 record, 23 wins in a row a year ago. In the last 3 out of 5 seasons, being ranked number 1. One thing that I love now is since 2008, only Kansas and us have won 18 or more games in the Power 5. So that's a lot of consistency. But so many great accomplishments, and a lot of people out there that didn't know about Baylor obviously do now. And for those that have already known about it, had a chance to brag, because they were right. This group is pretty good.
Coach, the job y'all did as a staff in all these games was just remarkable. Like John Jacobs with the scout for Gonzaga, and AB with the scout for Houston, and Coach Tang, I think, for Villanova. I mean, your guys just showed how well prepared they were in every one of those games.
We have the best assistant coaches in the country. I'm blessed to have the best staff and head coaches. It's I mean, you're only as good as your players and your staff. And again, not only are ours so talented, but such great godly role models and influences on our young people. And I've always said this: the best thing our program does is our chapel services. And if someone could come in and just spend 10 minutes on the road with us and hear chapel service, that's the best thing and our program does. And it's so exciting to be a part of, and so appreciative of what all of them have done.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, no offense, but that's what I miss the most about not traveling with you
guys. Yeah.
I miss chapel with you guys. So
yeah, absolutely. If people have no idea, they're like, really? And then like if you've been there, you're like, man, you guys do this all the time. And I mean, what a blessing.
Yeah. We heard that Coach Brooks did the chapel service ahead of the championship game. Is that correct?
Yes. And the other thing that was great is the coaches usually, I mean, they divide out and unless you win it all, you really never get to do your last chapel service. So this year was the first time that everybody got to do their final chapel service. The only other times would have been 2013 when we won the NIT and we're in the championship game, because then hey, this is my last one. So when you divide them out in the end of the year, you plan all the way through. But it was great that Coach Jacobs got to give his last one, Coach Tang did, and then Coach Brooks brought it home.
One thing I think David Kay told us, something that Coach Brooks said is that, when he first got to Baylor, he was a little uncomfortable with, having to do that. And then now it's something that he looks forward to.
Yeah, now we call him Reverend Brooks. So.
I love that.
Well, have you you've answered all your texts? I'm sure they'll keep coming in, but you've answered them for now. At what point, or have you already done this? Do you think about moving forward from here, or are you not to that point?
You're always moving forward.
I thought you were.
Yeah, you're always definitely recruiting and obviously working with our players now. But after being 4 weeks in the bubble, we wanted to let our guys get a little separation from us. So we'll see them next week. We'll see them tonight at the baseball game for those in town. But a lot of the guys also went home because they haven't had a chance to spend any family time. But who's ever in town tonight, we're going to be at the baseball game and all throughout the first pitch. So that'll be really nice. If you're in that front row, I don't know if some of our guys got good arms or not, so just be careful. But excited for that. And then obviously always planning for the future. And one thing, as Coach Tank said, this was pretty fun. We need to do this more often. So I know our staff is motivated to make sure that we keep moving forward as well.
How special was it to get to have that moment with Coach Tang? We've talked, with both of you inside the bubble. It was 18 years. Earlier this year, he shared the podcast story of how you guys came to work together. And so to share that moment finally, after 18 years, just how special was that?
Well, I mean, you think about 18 years, that's a long time. I mean, that's basically how long your kids are in the house before they go to college. So we've done life together, as he likes to say, and so pleased and excited that, he's had opportunities and he's chosen to stay and be a part of building this program. So excited that at the end of the day, that's why we'll move forward, JMO, but I know at the same time, every coach that I've talked to that's won one of these said, you better make sure you take time to celebrate, because if you miss that opportunity, it doesn't it's not like it comes around very often. So you just look at the list of I believe there's only 9 or 10 active coaches that have won a national championship, and most of them it's just one. And great programs. Cal Perry won, Bill Self won, Izzo won. It's not like something, and there's 353 teams in men's basketball, and the parity really make it competitive and tough. And it's hard to duplicate. So we're all going to celebrate, enjoy it, and move forward at the same time. But we're going to do both.
I don't want to end the celebration anytime soon. So let's do it as long as we possibly can. Coach, we appreciate your time. Congratulations. Just so happy for you and the staff and the players, everyone associated with the program. Just thrilled for you. And thanks for your time today.
Well, thank you, Baylor family. You guys are the best, and so excited to see you guys happy as well.
Congratulations. Now go practice your first pitch.
Yeah.
You expect it to be perfect too, okay, Coach?
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Congrats again.
Thanks.
That's Baylor coach Scott Drew. He is the coach of the national champion Baylor Bears. Say it again. The national champion Baylor Bears. And I almost felt, I kind of feel guilty saying looking ahead, but as coaches, they do that. What's the team going to look like next year? Who is coming back? Who will be leaving, and who steps up with the team next year? They've already done that, but don't want to quell the excitement of the celebration one bit. We want that to continue as long as possible.
Absolutely. And like we said, you guys all have been fantastic in celebrating with us so far, meeting the team out at the airport. And we want that to continue. So next Tuesday, April 13th at 6 p.m., it'll start the parade at 14th in Austin and go all the way to City Hall on South 3rd Street, where there will be a little pep rally, and you'll be able to hear from the players and Coach Drew again. So we look forward to seeing all the green and gold lining those streets, and to celebrate not only this team, but the 99 who helped build the foundation to get us to this national championship that we're celebrating today.
And how cool is that? You mentioned it in the logo, the national championship logo. If you look in the net, there is that 99 in there. Some people have noticed that.
Yeah.
Others go look for it. Very significant, saluting the players, the student athletes, and the foundation of the program that has come before.
Absolutely. And the other things on that logo, if you haven't seen, on the national, in the word, there's the O for the basketball, and it has the Texas Star. Of course, there's the word joy, which we've been talking about all season long. There's also the checkered flag, which was obvious. We were in Indy. It was the final lap, and we succeeded with that, the 99, and then the 14 dots representing the 14 players on this year's team. So lots of significance there. The graphic design team did a fantastic job with it. Yeah. And it's a perfect, nice little touch to celebrate a season that was unlike no other yet finished with the best way possible with the national championship.
28-2, the final record. Bears national champions. Looking forward to the baseball game. If you're listening to us on Friday, again, that's tonight. Baylor, West Virginia, they'll throw out the first pitch coming up tonight, and then the parade on Tuesday. That's going to be a lot of fun in downtown Waco.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
All right, that wraps up our final special edition Outside the Bubble, Sic Em Podcast. We appreciate Coach Drew being on with us. And for Brooke Bednarz, I'm John Morris. Thanks for being with us. Congratulations to the national champion Baylor Bears.
You've been listening to the Sic Em Podcast, powered by Rogue Media Network. The Sic Em Podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.